Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Xantho here, and this is going to be a video on the state of Sunder Totems in 3.25, the upcoming Settlers of Calgary Expansion League. So, normal totems, Ancestral Protector, Ancestral War Chief, Fallen Ancestral War Chief, and normal Earthbreaker totems are all dead. They have been completely removed from the game. However, the totems, one sec, I'm going to click on that. Yet, normal totems are dead. Earthbreaker Slam Totems actually do live if you have the Dawn Strider boots, which is a 65% drop chance boots from normal Exarch and Quest Exarch. So as soon as people start doing their Exarchs, which is going to be for the quick players, probably, within 8 hours of the league starting, for the really quick players, you're going to have Dawn Striders on the market. And these are probably going to be relatively cheap because no one's going to run Earthbreaker totems, let's be real. It's an incredibly niche archetype. And it's going to be easy to get corruptions on these when the masses start actually doing their Exarchs. There's going to be a ton of these in the market, trust me, for very cheap. And these grant a level 25... Earthbreaker support, which is now the only source for Earthbreaker support in the entire game. So basically, this is the only melee totem in the game is Dawn Strider boots, which grant Earthbreaker support. Only source for it in the game, which is great because we were not using unique boots. We had no specific boots we were needing to be using. And in a way, this actually is good because it opens up other possibilities. And I'll talk about that in a minute here. So it no longer has its normal stuff. It has 3 to 5% damage from hits taken from your totem's life before you. This is pretty nice. This is a good defensive node. I believe that was removed from one of the masteries. So basically you're just getting a mastery for free, a totem mastery for free, which is really nice. And you get level 25 Earthbreaker. So with that, cheap boot corruptions, because it's an incredibly common unique from Exarch. Level 25 totems will survive better because higher level totems, more HP. It also has Ancestral Bond on it. Where is it? Amplifies Ancestral Bond. So that's really cool. So that enables, I have a speculative PoE here that I'm doing. And that means you can cut out all of this, which saves a bunch of passive points. Just a ton of passive points, pathing the Ancestral Bond. All you gotta do is path up just Resolute Technique and you're good. So, cheap boot corruptions, survive better, better survival for your totems. Ancestral Bond and boots allows much better tree pathing. And now, since you are no longer since you're gonna be putting your totems in your boots, you're no longer gonna be able to use Bringer of Rain, which is kind of a big downside. It kind of sucks not being able to use Bringer of Rain, but you can still actually use it for the 20 to 30 physical damage to attacks with no downside. But you could also use Abyssus for, a bunch of damage and actually buffed damage over the baseline. But I don't really like Abyssus. Bringer of Rain is still probably a good choice. Just for the 20 to 30 physical damage to attacks because of how much Facebreaker skills is Flat Fizz. And also gives chance to block attack damage. It gives it an incredibly large amount of life. Though its life is not as good as it used to be, because you can now roll higher tiers of life on body armors, and if you drop Bringer of Rain, you can now use a body armor with 180 plus life. That's T1 life on body armors now is 180. So if you have like 120 on a helmet and 180 on a chest, that's 300, which is basically the same thing as Bringer of Rain. For the time being, I'm just gonna Bringer of Rain here just for damage comparison and to boost our life up a bit because we are using Bringer of Rain. Well, we're not gonna be using Bringer of Rain in the new patch. I'm just using it here just for the life as a pseudo life thing. But the one advantage of Bringer of Rain is that you are able to use the life mastery for 15% increased maximum life. Whereas if you have no life on equipped body armor, which is really cool. So next point, you got your helmet and body armor slots opened up. It's kind of what I just talked about. Sunder got giga buffed. I mean, absolutely massive buff for Sunder. Previously, it had 325% effectiveness of auto damage and damage at level 20. Now it goes to 629%, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's just insane. That is basically a 629 divided by 325, a 93% more damage buff. And if you can get cheap corruption on your Dawn Strider boots for +2 levels, that's probably going to push it up to basically about 100% more damage. So tentatively, because I was planning on getting cheap corruptions, I did put 100% in here for Sunder buff in the PoB. And of course this PoB is going to be vastly outdated. This is just for personal testing purposes. And just for a rough gauge of what the build's going to look like, but the tree is vastly changing in 3.25, so I'm going to need to adjust a bunch of stuff. However, leveling, I didn't actually put this on here, but leveling with the build is going to be amazing because you're just going to be running Sunder. You're running Facebreaker Sunder, and Sunder is massively, absolutely astronomically buffed. So your leveling experience is going to be insane. Even before you get Facebreakers, it's going to be insane. Because just with axes and, you know, maces, two-handed axes, two-handed maces, you're going to be dealing so much damage with Sunder for clearing, and against bosses. You're going to be one-shotting bosses left and right with your Intimidating Cry up and your Fist of War up. So next, Champion's Fortitude was nerfed. It only gives 15 fortification now instead of 20. It does save points though because they actually moved it. They moved it from here to here. Unstoppable Hero and basically now gives fortification to your allies instead of you. Sorry, to your allies, both allies and you. So it's good for being like an Aurabot if you want to be an Aurabot champion, which actually is a viable strategy because the 30% effect of non-aggressive Aura is here. I actually have run Aurabot champions in group before rather than Scion because it was just easier to get up and running, and because the correct Elegant Hubris's are cheaper down in this socket than they are up in the Scion sockets. So that's really cool. That saves us a point here. Now I only have 6 of 8 here, mostly because I just put in 15 fortification. Well, that should be 15 fortification there. And we're going to go inspirational for our Uber Lab. So, which gives you 30% increased effect of knockers auras. You're no longer going to get the banner stuff because, well, actually, you are going to get the banner stuff because we are going to be running War Banner, which was changed. Banners no longer have reservations. They're kind of weird. They use a system called Valor, which I'm not sure if melee totems are going to be able to generate Valor. I'll have to see. I have to ask about that. Hopefully someone asks about that. Because in the GGG live stream, they hovered over one of the passive skill points for a banner skill. And it talked about Valor. Maximum Valor is 50. And then you basically get bonuses for when you place your banner based on your Valor. So it's kind of just like current totem, not current totems, current banners, except there's no reservation and they don't last as long, I don't think. More situational. So they get 5% more aura effect per Valor. Base Valor is 50, so you get 3.5 time multiplier on your banner effect. And War Banner is 4% more physical per to melee skills to you and allies at all gym levels. So at 50 Valor, that'd be I think that's 14% more damage. Flesh and Stone was also changed. Flesh and Stone was a big buff to Flesh and Stone. Whoops. Instead of maiming enemies in Sand Stance, in Blood Stance, it causes enemies to scale to take up to 20% more physical damage, which stacks with Pride, which is really cool. This is also for just physical hits in general, so this, you could use this for like a Reap character if you were doing hit-based physical Reap, like Impale Reap maybe, with those one Impale gloves. Can't remember the name of them right now. So Flesh and Stone, we're going to be running that definitely. We're going to be dropping Dread Banner because Dread Banner no longer gives Impale chance. And we're getting just about 55% unreserved life, which is absolutely perfect, which is what we were at before, because I've added in 20% reservation efficiency of skills because there's a new wheel here for generic reservation efficiency, which is going to be life reservation efficiency because we're blood magic. So this is 8% here. They hovered over it, but I don't have the picture of it. This is 8%, this is 12%. So that's 20% reservation efficiency of skills, which brings us basically back up to the 55% we were at before. It might need some tweaking because it looks like I'm not sure if this is 55%. Let me see if I'm always on the live. 2415. Let's see. 2415 divided by 4409. Hopefully this is above 55%. It's 54.77, so that's not ideal. We're going to need some reservation efficiency from somewhere to get us above low life so we can get our overleach back. That's unfortunate. And I did switch this over here because Bannerman is changing. So, with that said, reservation efficiency wheel. Oh yeah, I skipped over this one by accident. Versatile combatant that got massively buffed. This is the one that gives less maximum block and block chance for attack and spells. Well, it gives block spell per 1% overcap block and spell damage, or 1% overcap block attack damage. Sorry. And GGG is also adding a bunch of new ways to get extra block on the tree, so it's going to be much easier to block cap. I'm only level 72 right now, so this damage is actually going to go way up. It's probably going to be closer to 10 million and also be more defensive because I'm going to get 65 block. It's going from -25 to -10, so it's going to be from 50 to 65. So we're going to have 65 block, probably around 40,000 armor still while mapping, and actually probably more DPS once I actually get these passives sorted out and the new tree comes out and I'm actually able to fiddle with it in PoE. We also get +1 additional impale on the tree, which is huge. It's going to be like down right around here, I think. Right around here, right around here. There's going to be a impale wheel that gives +1 additional impale, just like champions and +1 additional impale. And once again, this is without like abyssus or any body armor or anything. This is just Facebreaker. I removed the other stuff from Dawn Strider just so you can get the life and the movement speed there. Measurement Squirtle, of course. Don't really need Overflowing Chalice. I removed Ancestral Protector because we're not using that anymore, which means that you are able to have a lot more flexibility. Needs to go in. This is a 5-link here because it's have to factor in some Earthbreaker. Earthbreaker does not give me damage currently, but in the new patch it'll give 25% more damage at level 25, which I have factored in here somewhere. Yeah, 25% more damage. So we're at roughly the same damage we were before, without any of the new tree changes, and I have a lot of passives to work with. I got about 20. I have 20 to work with, which is going to be really nice. But I am going to have the path up here and then go 1, 2, 3 for the reservation efficiency wheel. So that's going to be, let's just do like 1, 2, 3 here to take our passives down to 76. So we're going to have like 16 points. If we're going for level 92 tree, which I think is pretty achievable pretty early in the league, we're going to have like 16 points to work with to take other impale passives and stuff. We no longer get Dread Banner, which means capping impale chance is going to be a little bit harder, but they have added new impale clusters. And they've been buffed the impale chance and forceful skewering from 10 to 15%, so that's going to kind of make up for it a little bit. And since we're pathing over here, we can also take Graceful Assault for, you know, a bunch more armor, much more onslaught effect, because I don't think they nerfed Sleepless Sentries. Did they nerf Sleepless Sentries? It did not. So that's going to be really good. I've switched this to totem damage and totem placement speed because the totem buff effect does nothing anymore. So placement speed is always a good thing. Might actually swing up here for Shamanistic Fury to get the totem damage and totem placement speed, because I tested with totem placement speed just yesterday. Actually, I was doing some Azuri runs, just testing for league start environment on the build I had previously, the 30C Sunder Totem build, and placement speed felt really good. So I'm probably going to invest into placement speed in the finished version of this. So this is kind of a long rambly video, but basically melee totems are they have survived. The Sunder Totems have survived. They might actually be buffed. Our defenses might actually be buffed. Our DPS might actually be buffed. Amazingly to say, that's kind of insane to say because they actually killed totems in general. But with the massive buffs to Sunder and other aspects of the build, and the tree changes, and the fact we don't have to pass up to ancestral bond anymore, all of that combines to basically mean that we have a solid build still. We have a solid build if you want to run this build. So once the tree is released and PoE is updated, I'll probably just be doing the the thing where you just manually import the JSON data into PoE so you can at least path your tree. And I'll probably just put stuff in the custom configs for all the actual passive skills as soon as the JSON data is released for the tree, which I have no idea when that's going to be, but I will start doing that then. And with that, peace out, you guys.